As we race away from the storm's fierce wrath, our hearts beat fast as we leave the wintry path. The snow covered landscape is beautiful to see, but we're grateful to escape its treacherous spree. The road ahead is clear and enthralling, with new adventures and destinations calling. We left the day after Christmas at 3 o'clock in the morning. We were excited to get down to Death Valley. However, we had thought we were going to camp on the way and could not. Every single county that we went through on 395 had avalanche warnings and winter conditions. So we just booked it on down and ended up down in the area at around 9 o'clock at night. We set up camp and went to bed. The sunrise, though, was beautiful, and we were excited to get the day going. We had Ashley and Chris with us for the entire week. This was going to be a lot of fun. We ate our breakfast, packed up camp, and soaked in all of the views. It wasn't long before we decided to get out there and go on an adventure. We wanted to see what we could find. The area, after all, is vast and beautiful.
Yeah, check out that old abandoned car over there.
On our way here, we came down a hill and saw a fighter jet fly over us. We thought we might be able to see some more, but alas, we didn't know what happened to them. They seemed to have disappeared for a little bit.
I wonder if the fighter jets are on lunch break.
Probably changing drivers or whatever. I cracked myself up, as you can tell. I actually did see one a little later, right after I put my camera away, of course. It flew directly over us, so low that we could see the writing on the underbelly of the plane. It was pretty amazing, and I really regret not recording in that moment. Death Valley actually has a pretty interesting history. The native Timbisha Shoshine people have inhabited the region for at least 1,000 years, living off its resources such as the mesquite tree and the hot springs. In the mid-1800s, prospectors began flocking to Death Valley in search of gold and other precious metals. This led to the establishment of several mining towns. Most were difficult to reach and had harsh living conditions, with temperatures reaching over 120 degrees Fahrenheit in the summer. During the early 1900s, Death Valley became a popular tourist destination due to its unique landscape and geological formations. The famous Furnace Creek Inn was established in 1927, providing luxurious accommodations for visitors. However, the most tragic event in Death Valley's history occurred in 1849 with the infamous Death Valley Party. A group of California-bound immigrants attempted to take a shortcut through Death Valley, but disastrous decisions in the harsh terrain led to starvation and the death for many of the party members. Today, Death Valley remains a popular destination for tourists seeking adventure and natural beauty. In fact, too many tourists for me. There was a lot of them out there, and I felt like we had to escape. It's not like the Death Valley I went to when I was a kid. I went in the early 80s and you didn't see anybody for days. Death Valley, in fact, did not become a national park until 1994. I have mixed feelings about it, to be quite honest. It feels like now everybody wants to be there, and it almost ruins what Death Valley was, at least for me. But I guess that's okay. There's still a lot of other stories about Death Valley, and probably leading to more tourists than even the fact that it's a national park. I don't know. One of the most well-known stories about Death Valley is the legend of the Lost Gunsight Mine. According to the tale, a man named Pete Augerberry discovered a rich gold vein in the area back in the early 1900s. He kept the location a secret for many years, but eventually sold the rights to the mine at a group of investors. Unfortunately, the investors were never able to find the mine, despite years of searching. Some say that the mine was cursed, while others believe that it simply vanished into thin air. To this day, treasure hunters continue to search for the lost mine in the hopes of striking it rich. Another fascinating aspect of Death Valley is the role in Hollywood history. The valley has served as a backdrop for dozens of movies over the years, including classics like Star Wars and The Bad and the Beautiful. Many of these films have used Death Valley's otherworldly landscapes to create the illusion of distant planets or alien worlds. Do you see it, I wonder? Do alien worlds have that many clouds or that blue of a sky? I don't know. What I do know is that in the national park, you cannot camp with your dog anywhere but in the campgrounds. Let me talk about that for a minute. The campgrounds there, at least the ones we saw, look like parking lots. I could probably camp in Walmart for the same experience. I mean, come on. The idea of not being able to camp with our dog, our whole channel, in fact, is you, me, and the dog. Clyde goes everywhere with us. To not have him camp with us seems pretty alien to me. Thankfully, the entire area is surrounded by BLM land, and you can camp with your dog on BLM land. Woohoo! When? The BLM land actually was pretty interesting. We'll get into that in a little later. We did find a wonderful camping spot. We'll even show you that, and if you're really nice, we'll give you the coordinates. There was a lot of trash there, unfortunately. We'll also get into that. That's to be expected, as we found pretty much anywhere anybody can get, it seems. People are not very good to the world. Please be nice. You could do off-grid camping off of this path here. Unfortunately, this is still technically right inside of the Death Valley National Park. So again, for us, we couldn't do it, even though we saw a couple of other people pulled over setting up camp with their dogs. The end of this trail ends not too far up here. There's a giant sand dune that we were trying to get to. We wanted to see more of it. Unfortunately, you have to hike to it, and again, with your dog, you can't take them out of your vehicle unless you're in a designated camping ground within the national park. FYI. And a lot of people were not obeying that, which is unfortunate. So without much more, we got to the end of that, turned around, and headed for BLM land. As you can see here, it's really beautiful as well, and a lot more fun.
Ducky, we have to completely secure our water container. One moment.
There's just trails around here for days.
I know, but you can take them wherever.
Yeah.
But they do have markers so people don't get completely lost, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. Well, yeah, and so that you don't mess up the desert too badly, I guess.
All right, Ducky, we're good to go.
Alrighty. Yeah, this is kind of cool. You can have a lot of fun out here in dirt bikes and quads. And Jeeps. I should have added SUVs as well, as you can see in just a moment. Go, Chris. And he's been just wanting to play for a while. After the fun was done, we were back at it. This time we were headed to an old mine. We were looking for some rocks, and on the way, we were looking for donkeys. Like the fighter jets, they sure were elusive though. There were signs of them everywhere, however, but did we see any this entire time? Nope, not a single one on our whole trip. In fact, the only wild critter we saw, we think, might have been a scorpion out the side of our window, and most of us missed it.
Donkey! Donkey!
Where are those elusive donkeys? They're everywhere, but where are the donkeys? Why don't we see any donkeys? Well, I think Chris is right. They probably head up to the hills for the day to stay cooler, maybe? I don't know. I didn't read up on donkeys.
You said I keep on going until I get a left, right? Tell them to make a right, go up towards the right, and it comes back up around. See, that's what that is.
You guys stay right, please. Don't follow us here. Calm down, Clyde. And maybe this is the road we were supposed to stay on anyway, I think, because that doesn't...
Yeah, it looks like
Yeah. Looks like somebody just made that road themselves or something.
it might just be washed out.
Yeah. What is
That's
that?
the way here. Right?
Well, it looks like somebody camped there at some point and just dumped their stuff or something. That's disappointing. No. This is not the left. That's not a road anyway. I kind of like the desert wheeling. This is way easier than the stuff we do in Oregon.
Yeah, it's slower.
Well, because it's rockier, but you're not having to ride, you know, trees and maneuver through really tight trees on cliff edges. I'm sure that if we went up higher, we'd find some cliff edges. I really don't want to find cliff edges, so those are not my favorite. And I believe that should get us to the mine we're looking for. I think Ashley will really dig that since she's into rocks. And I assume that there's going to be a lot of rocks around a mine. Well, we found ourselves to Vita Mine. There's a lot of old houses here, and a lot of garbage too. I don't know how much of that garbage is new and how much of it is old. We did do a walk around. The houses look like they could have been pretty cool, and I really adored how many rocks they put on the outside of it. It was kind of pretty in some ways, but again, walking through there was almost treacherous with how much stuff was everywhere. Wow, at some point this would have been a really pretty house. Does seem like they did actual mining here and decorated their houses with the rocks they mined. Again, they would have been pretty in their time, I'm sure of it. Now, not so much. This mine is located near Homewood Canyon, Rattlesnake Canyon, and Mohawk Mine. It's also nearby Crow Canyon and St. Patrick Mine. We went ahead and walked all the way up to the top, but didn't really go much further. It looked like it was loved at one point, but abandoned for a lot longer, and I was really beginning to worry about Clyde stepping on something he shouldn't have. So we looked around, enjoyed it, and then headed back down the hill and towards camp. Here's some pictures.
Oh, yeah, look at that.
Right outside of where we camp, there's this little creek, and it sounded like you could hear a waterfall in the distance. We went to explore and found that there was a cave right here, so naturally, we had to walk toward it. We were taken aback by what the cave revealed once we got inside, even as shallow as it was.
So, this place is not it for flooding though.
Oh my god, it's a pool! Look, there's a little pool up there!
Is there?
Yes, look at that!
I can't see it.
Come over to me! Look right there!
Oh, yeah. Oh, it is.
Both through these place that I'm seeing out here. So there's a couple of them growing over there. Unless they're bulb cactuses.
They turned out to be melons. They look like melons. Or
Well, I
like,
saw a feather earlier as well, so.
yeah, no, you can definitely hear the ducks if we shut up. They're up there. So I'm wondering if that's a bigger pool up there then. Must be. I wonder if you can take a, I bet you can take a hike up there. There's a trail that
On this
starts
side?
over there. It probably takes you all
Clyde,
the way up.
don't drink the water, Clyde.
I mean, honestly, it's probably pretty clean.
Well, it looks pretty clean. I mean, it looks pretty clear. It's not like.
I don't think it'll harm Clyde. It might harm us, but I don't think it'll harm Clyde. Because you always leave it better than you found it. Every time. Yes, remember me earlier mentioning that there was a lot of trash in the area that we found? It is a beautiful campsite, but you'll be taken aback by how much trash they found here, even though you can't really see it from this angle. They're still at it. They're cleaning up this entire canyon. Right over there. They're right behind the bushes. If you look at the trash bag they've gathered, it's almost full already. I'm recording you. Would you guys like to explain that bag to me, please?
Litter?
Holy crap, you caught that much garbage in this little area?
Yes. Oh, there's probably still more. Oh, there's tons more.
Oh my god. All better. Overall, this trip was phenomenal. Despite getting chased by a winter storm all the way down from Oregon to Southern California, it was fantastic. We got through all of the snow, didn't get snowed in, didn't get hit by an avalanche. At the end of the day, we got to Death Valley. We got to take it all in. We took a lot of pictures, saw a lot of sights, and most importantly, we had a lot of fun. Time stood still for an entire week. We couldn't ask for anything more.